My dog D Money.
From the Carolinas, where the black and blue runs deep. Panther Pickle's on the mic, no secrets that he'll keep. Been here since day one, through the glory and the pain. Got opinions sharper than a linebacker's campaign. If you can't handle truth, well, buddy, here's the deal. Shut the
hell up.
That's how Pickle keeps it real. It's time to deal with it. Every Sunday we ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, are you upset because the Panthers lost? Kind of worried a little bit? Shut the hell up. We get ready to go to the playoff, bitches. Smile and be happy.
Let's go.
I'd rather be in the situation we're in right now than only win 2 games and worried about who's the best guy we're going to take. D-Money, tell me about it. D-Money can't hear me. Oh, he's rocking too hard.
I think it might be a delay.
Hey, what's going on,
What's going on,
family?
brother?
What happened?
We going to the playoffs. I
That's
can't
right.
wait. I can't wait, man. I'm just happy. It's a Monday. We're ready. We're rejuvenated. We're off of that mess from yesterday. We're ready to look forward to Saturday. We got Buccaneers on the menu, and I can't wait. I got an appetite.
Wonderful. Diesel Skills, my friend. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Pickle. If you would close out that countdown timer you got, it's coming through in the background. I think you nailed it on the intro.
uh,
Really excited about this opportunity we got coming up Saturday, right? Saturday game, and we get to finally beat these Buccaneers. They looked bad yesterday against the Miami Dolphins, so they're in this bottomless pit of losing, and Baker Mayfield is a big part of it. He hasn't looked good since the first 8 games of this season, and I have full confidence that Carolina Panthers can do what they need to do on the road and bring this NFC South title home once again. And it's been a long 10 years since 2015 since we've done this, Pickle. I'm thankful and blessed to be a
Right.
Carolina Panthers podcaster in this situation.
Right. Welcome, Twan Don. Glad to see you. Cole, tell me, brother, what you thinking in your new setup?
what's happening, boys? I'm just glad that we are still fighting. I'm glad that we still have things that we need to play for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we have a playoff berth on the line. We're ahead of schedule. We're playing with house money right now. Yesterday was the quickest loss I've probably ever put to bed. I'm still very optimistic. We can't play worse than we did yesterday. I feel like we're going to show up and get the job done next Sunday, Pickle.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We're in this win one lose one ratio, and I'm not certain if the players or maybe the coaches get so full of themselves because they beat that other team and they come in later that week and they get the ass handed to them. They go back and say,
Mm-hmm.
"We fucked that up," and then they have to go back and figure out how to win yet. Maybe sometimes I think maybe Canales is too positive, but that's just what I think sometimes. So nonetheless, and he Canales is learning. He's doing what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about on the off camera. It's a question. Does Canales trust all of his players? That's something we'll never know. Because even if he don't trust them, he's not going to tell you that on camera. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's really not. They've spent some draft picks on some of these guys, so they're gonna keep them so long as they can. Um, I still think that I still wouldn't be shocked if Dan in the offseason adds a wide receiver
Mm-hmm.
or a better depth at backup quarterback. But that's something we'll wait and see this offseason and see how it works out. Um, we take on the Bucs this week, and if we win, we get the division. If the Bucs win, they gotta hope that Tampa don't, or they gotta hope that the Falcons ain't won their today's game and next week. Because if they win, then we win because it'll be a three-way tie, and we win the division because we have
Unbelievable.
tiebreakers for everybody, and that blows my mind. I'd rather not win the division that way. That's like cheating backward to me, you know. Um, One thing though, I want to say we've always counted T Mac as a rookie of the year. Well, to beat Calvin Benjamin's record, he needs 75 yards. And something that has kind of alarmed me is I didn't realize how serious it was. There is a serious thought process of going to rookie of the year. Tyler Shook, the Saints quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
is getting some serious votes. Um, I really don't want to see a Saint player.
Uh-uh.
Uh, I'd really not do that. So, but
No, we can't allow that to happen. But that just can't happen.
no. So T Mac had the flu, but he still showed up and play. Uh, he needs to come out and ball. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Ball hard, ball long. And Falcons, my man, my former Tennessee Vols, James Pierce Jr., do me a favor, bro. Break the chain on Tyler Shook come next Sunday. I don't want you to hurt him, but if you do, brother, he got all off season to heal up. All right. I want you to make sure he has a horrible day. Help a brother out.
I froze. Can you hear me, Pickle?
Yeah.
All right. I want to say this right quick while we had a little pause. And I'm the worst one for this shit, but it's something that I can finally tolerate and it's palatable for me. I've heard all three of you say it. I've heard Diesel still say it the most, but this is a rebuild now. Finally, Pickle. I can finally believe in that because we've seen win, we've seen progressions. We're beating teams we're not supposed to. We do not have any consistency whatsoever, and there's still a lot of questions. But to be in it the last week of the season and having potentially swept the Bucs to get into the playoffs, I just feel like we're ahead of schedule. Everybody was telling me 2 more years, but I really think we might can make some moves and do something next year, my friend.
Yeah, and to me, that's the biggest deal of what we got going on. We're early to this playoff party for the Carolina Panthers. We're a year ahead of schedule, coming in with guys developing maybe a little more than we thought they would. And that's kind of the thing that's got me confused about this defense, Pickle. We held one of the best teams, or the number one team in the NFL, to only 3 points in that first half. And
Right.
it's odd. It's odd to me that that the Panthers were able to look as competitive as we did in that first half, considering how the second half played out. And
Right.
I know the offense really struggled, and the offense really didn't get things going, but it was kind of obvious to me that that was the best defense we've run across. I don't think we've run across a team with that kind of caliber defense, at least playing against us. But the Seahawks have done this all year. They've traveled across the country in that 1 p.m. time slot and just busted teams wide open. And we were victim to the same thing, but we weren't in the first half. We were extremely competitive, and something that if you had asked each and every one of us at the beginning of the season how we would perform against the Seahawks, and you told them we would have went into halftime tied 3-3, I don't think a lot of fans would have believed that. It was the
Signed
effort
up
from
for
this
it.
defense and the development that we've seen this year from this defense. A
Right.
guy like Claudin Sherrills and how he's played over these past few weeks with Trevin being out. I mean, dude, that here's a guy who's been a journeyman in the NFL and a guy who now really looks like a serviceable backup for the Carolina Panthers. A guy that I feel like we probably shouldn't let go of and we should keep within the depths of the ranks. Should we ever have a starter go down and we can insert a guy like Claudin into the lineup? And Cole's right. The players have developed faster than what we really expected, and it's really awesome to be in this situation. Losing to the Seahawks, that's not a surprise. We know our
Right.
roster doesn't compare to them whatsoever. Like I said on here last week, our roster doesn't even compare that well to the Atlanta Falcons. But this team is playing motivated football, and we really saw it yesterday in the first half, Pickle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, I've got 5 people on YouTube and 17 on Twitter watching this. Please favorite us, like us, share us, and enjoy the content.
Please.
So yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
I
yeah,
was begging on Twitter, but I will though. We need all that shit, Pickle.
right,
All of it.
right, and yeah, we've developed faster than I think we should have, or we could, or we would have. Now Trevor Wallace was put on IR the other day. I'm assuming that uh, Jatavian Sanders will be put on IR this week, likely Wednesday, because of his broken ankle he suffered at the game Sunday. Um, I think we're good at tight end, but I think that'll open up. I think that'll open up a position where, be it that that you'll see Robert Hunt and uh, David Moore active, removed off IR and active. Um, do you think David Moore moves in to take someone's starting job, or you just think that he's going to be a quality extra guy?
I think he's just a quality guy, a rotational piece, certain downs or something like that. Just to be out there.
Right,
I mean, he's been a safety blanket for Bryce last year.
right,
Didn't need it as much so far this year. For a game of the magnitude that we'll be playing Saturday, it's all hands on deck. If you can catch, if you can block, if you can tackle, if you can hit, if you distribute water to the players in an efficient manner, we all need you Saturday. It's do or die, and I love this situation. This is what makes March Madness fun. This is what makes the NFL playoffs fun. Is
right,
having that opportunity there any given Sunday, but you don't get next week. And
right,
let's show up this week.
right. And let's remember a few years ago the Tampa Bay Bucs won the division and they went in the playoffs, and we all laughed because they were facing the Eagles and they was going to get their butt whooped the first game, and they whipped the first game, whipped the Eagles, went on, I think, to face the Packers. Or maybe they beat the Packers or someone anyway.
No, you
But
said it right. They beat the
okay,
Eagles. It was a
they
big
beat
win.
the Eagles, and then yeah. So you never know what's going to happen once that bell rings, once that whistle blows. So, yeah, and I agree. To the gentleman in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
this team is ahead of its development. It's a little ahead where they need to be, but I'm glad we're here. And is every single starter this year going to bring? Are we going to bring back next year? Probably not. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how the NFL works. That's why you have to have good depth behind you. That's why teams go to free agency. Stuff like that happens on a regular basis. And don't worry, we're going to cover free agency and the draft and all those things. Now, next week, I believe next week, I ain't decided whether I'm going to do it before or after the playoff game. Probably before the playoff game. Uh, So I'll probably do it next week. I'm gonna start on my position evaluation, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go position by position on the Panthers. I'm gonna tell you
Love
what
it.
I think of each person in that position, each player, and then I'm going to tell you what I think of that position in itself. And if we need to improve, stay the same, whether we need to stay the course or seek an improvement. And I welcome everybody's comments when I do that. And some folks might not like it. I might step on some favorite players of some people. But y'all, you know what this is? This is Deal With It podcast. Buckle up, Buttercup. Shut the hell up, Dave. Because you don't like it, you can tell me all about it. Don't mean it's going to change my opinion.
Yeah, and it's going to get bumpy too. I mean, with our up and down year like we've had, I know during
Yes,
the broadcast
yes,
yesterday, there's
yeah,
only a couple more teams in the NFL that have gone seesaw back and forth as many
right,
times as the Panthers have. There's a lot of room for criticism in that, and there
yes,
are areas that we need to improve. Just like Cole was pointing
right,
out, we're here a year early. So we
yeah,
really do need to dial in and figure out where the best places that this Panthers team needs to
right,
improve going forward.
right,
You had a couple good comments in there. You got offense missing a deep threat. I mean, obviously
That's
we
true.
weren't. It didn't look like the game plan was to really push the ball down the field yesterday,
right,
Pickle. I think you were getting at some of that. It looked like kind of a timid game plan.
hmm,
But I think it looked like a timid game plan because we didn't run the ball good. We've
right,
got to run the ball good. I think there's another
yes,
comment about from Brad. Thank you, Brad, that we haven't found our offensive identity, and we need to be big and nasty on the offensive line. We need to push the other team back. I don't care
right,
if they bring an extra man in the box. We have to impose our will, and we haven't done that in the last 8 weeks. Chuba Hubbard or Rico Dowdle hasn't had 80 yards since week 10 of the
It ain't
NFL
been good.
season. No,
It's
we
right,
not
got to
been
turn
good
this
on the
around.
back
It's
end.
killing this offense. It's slowly suffocating it, in my
right.
opinion, guys.
Yeah, and one thing about it is, I I believe Dave Canales' outlook on this game was to keep the passes short and with a good run game because he knew Seattle's decent defense was going to come off the ball quicker. He knew that. And we went when we took on the Atlanta Falcons the second time, we had a similar game plan, and but we were able to run the ball better against the Seahawks. They have a better front line, so
Mhm.
it was going to be hard for us to run the football anyway. But the turnovers just hurt, and it wasn't just the turnovers; it was somebody dropping a pass, somebody committing a major penalty, the injury to Jatavian Sanders, JT Sanders, I think hurts a lot more than people realize because David
Mhm.
Canales has one of the strengths of our run game has been our use of uh, two tight end sets and three tight end sets. And uh, I say it that way because some people may not realize on the other terms, but we were using a lot of 11 or 12 personnel, some 13 personnel. But
Mhm.
using those and Jatavian Sanders' injury, Dave said in Expresser that they used a backup offensive lineman to help with that. That's fine, but that backup offensive lineman
Mhm.
isn't going to scare you in the passing game. So they were
Mhm.
easily able to bring up extra guys in the line when we try to go into that. And Dave doesn't have the experience, nor do our players, of switching and adapting on the fly to an entirely different game plan. So some of that is going to be effective in what happened at that game Sunday. We just got to make sure the difference in Tampa is we've already took on Tampa. We know Tampa. When I watch Tampa play, I don't see a team who wants to win. I see a fan base who's beat. I see a team that's beat, and I see a head coach who just wants to walk away.
Well, my problem is I think this offense can be good, and I think we still have opportunity to do things. My
Right.
problem that I have is the amount of rushing attempts. I mean, people are wondering why the running game isn't effective. It's not because these guys are not getting good yards per carry, but when you're getting 9 carries a game, and Sugar's getting like 5 carries a game, and vice versa or whatever. That's not a running attack. That's just running a couple of times, and then we're going to pass the ball or whatever.
Right.
When
Right.
we started our surge, we were committed to running the ball. Our offensive line loves to run the ball. And for us, we have to win in the trenches. And the reason why it's looking well on the defensive is because we're allowing our front four guys to do what they do well. And that's just sit there and bang up against bodies, close holes, and it has
Right.
shown it's helped our defense. But
Right.
offensively, the goal away from the run, and I understand it's a passing league. I understand
Hmm.
that. I'm not shy to that. But when you know that running the ball puts you in a prime position and actually puts you in a better position for your passing game, and especially if you see that Bryce is not connecting on the completions right away, go to the run. Because a lot of these games, we haven't been down by 10 and so forth. There was no reason to abandon the run. The game plan was just not that much to run unless some guys just broke out on their own. I really feel like we got, if we want this to be even more successful than what it's already been. And mind you, I am so proud of this team, and I will yell it from the rooftop. But if we want to guarantee that we get in there Saturday and even possibly make some noise in the postseason, we've got to get back to putting that ball in Rico and Chuba's hands. And I don't just mean screen passes. I mean giving them the ball. Rico was successful with inside zone runs. Let's get that zone run schemes going. Let's get that play action going. And also, before I forget it, can we scheme up some plays for Jimmy Horn Jr. that's not a daggum in and around? And I feel like we'll be okay. We have weapons. We just got to
Hmm.
use our strength. And those running backs will run hard for us. Yes, people didn't have such a bright moment yesterday at that point, but let's be doggone. Somebody's gonna make a mistake at some point. It just happened. Man. That fumble didn't lose us the game, but it didn't help us. And I'm gonna tell you like this: Trigger Huggins has done more good for me than he's done bad. Rico Dowdell has done more good for me than he's done bad. Let's feed these dogs.
Absolutely. And the difference is 13. Seattle had 13 more offensive plays than we had. Um, we had a total of 99 yards rushing. We tried 26 times to rush the football. This is including a 1 yard rush by Mitchell Evans on the quarterback sneak that he did.
And that's some
And
carries from Bryce, right? So
right,
like,
well, Bryce had 9 carries, and I'm careful. I don't when I talk about the running game, I don't include that because those runs on Bryce were because the passing game broke down and he took scramble and got yardage. So those aren't real true born again rushes. Those are pass plays that broke apart. But the passing game was atrocious. We had 54 total yards on passing.
Piss poor.
54 total yards. Jalen Coker had 2 yards, had 2 catches for 16 yards. Jimmy Horn Jr. had 2 catches for 9 yards. And yeah, I saw Jimmy Horn Jr. lined up several times. It's just he just don't get the ball thrown his way. Tommy Tremble had 1 catch for 3 yards. Chuba had 3 catches for 6 yards. And anyway, that's just how it was. Just 1 or 2 or 3 catches and 1 or 2 yards, and the rest of it's just relevant. But it's stuff like that causes a fan to question the offense, and you could get into the scenario and say, okay, was it Bryce? Was it Canales? Who knows? Sometimes I could say, but reality, it's a little bit of everybody. So either way, they have to figure out what's causing this and get it corrected. Uh, because you can't go in to an NFL season. You can't keep on playing in the NFL or coaching in the NFL, either one, and have such production. That's not going to cut it.
Well, it's like the fear of not getting beat. We're going to play offense so that we don't get beat, or so that we don't beat ourselves.
Right.
In that, And that game plan never works. We've got to play our brand of football. We've got to
Right.
impose our will on offense, whether it's us trying to run the football or push the ball down the field. And we certainly do know, as fans watching this team this year, that we're at our best when Bryce is pushing the football down the field, making explosive plays. Those are the type of plays that we need to see, and we definitely didn't see them yesterday. But I'll say this: I have never seen a team close in and tackle in the flat like they did yesterday. We haven't faced a team that has done a good job of that. Remember against the Rams, Chuba had that pass he caught in the flat and he took it all the way to the house, about 40 yards, something like that. The Seahawks were not letting us get any kind of plays off like that. It seems like maybe in the game plan we were hoping to get some yak yards out of that, and that's not what we saw at all. And I was listening to Jonathan Stewart earlier, and he was talking about how he felt like this team was leaving yak yards on the table. And that's part of it. Let's catch the ball, and when we do, let's turn straight up field. Let's quit trying to outrun everybody laterally, and let's move downfield more. And it'll help this offense going forward, especially when we're throwing 3 yard passes, right? You throw a 3 yard pass to Tommy Tremble, he turns straight up field, he gets 3 more yards. Well, that turns into a 6 yard play, which sets up perfect for third down, Pickle. So I understand 100% what you're saying. It looked like we were timid. We've got to be bold. And I think part of the problem was we gave up 4 sacks yesterday. I think that was the issue too. I don't think the pass protection was that great. I don't think there was a few plays where I was like, man, Bryce has got a lot of time. But majority of the day, I didn't feel like Bryce had a lot of time. I felt like he was rushed and he was pressured and he had to get out of the pocket and make things happen.
Right.
But
What just
it did get back until the fourth quarter.
right, right. He did get sacked in the fourth quarter, but pressure is one thing, and they knew going in that Seattle was a good team, and but I mean at the same time, I really do believe that be it coaching or players, they have to figure this out. If this was just the only time
quickly.
this happened, this is an every other week thing. I brought the schedule up yesterday. It's just it seems for whatever reason it's an every other week thing, and that just can't happen that way. We just got to do better.
Well, the reason why that's happening is just like Brown, there's a lot of youth on this team. And I'm
Right,
not making excuses, but you also have guys, even the free agents we brought in, that
right,
have not played together. Where the team
That's
is
crazy.
where it's just win loss.
right,
There's been other factors that factor into that. The one thing that I do take pride about it is the main thing that's not beating us is our defense. Defense is not losing this game. And so, for that very reason alone, I have a lot of hope in what the team is. And even when, like, I think that even if I want to take the poor man's math and go like, well, this is our week because we lost last week, and I'll take it out of possibility. The fact of the matter is this defense has exceeded expectations way further than I think this team has exceeded expectations. This brings to the question for other shows like Avero and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like our calling card for success this year is really going to be looked back at offense. Rico had a 200 game, Bryce had a 400-yard game. But I think a couple of years from now, they're going to be thinking about the defense more than the offense. Because they did the most defense last year. But what we're hoping is the middle of the pack defense. And that's almost unheard of in just a year. And I do what how this defense has been developed and so forth, and the reasoning of why we're in the position that we are right now. If we go back to yesterday, we had the top three offense for 3 points in the first half. Okay, let me give a little more context to that. We come out, our defense still didn't play bad. It's just that we had 2 turnovers where our backs was against our own end zone, which is hard for anybody to do. And then there was a 14-point swing. See, my thing was as ugly as we played, even if Bryce would have finished with 74 yards or whatever, I was going to be happy because, let's be quite honest, Seattle has 6 Pro Bowlers. We have one and probably a possible. Either way you put it, on paper, we weren't even supposed to be in that game. But our defense kept us afloat. Unfortunately, we had two key turnovers that really killed this game. I know people can talk about BY in the 54 yards. There's going to be some people that's going to talk about J.C. Horn. I've even heard some people have the gall to speak about Ike Ekwonu. That wasn't what killed us. That 14-point swing when we came out after the half is what killed us. Now, mind you, could that have been more better execution on the offensive end? Absolutely. Would we have desired more from the offense? Absolutely. It's just at the end of the day, I don't know too many teams that's in a tie game come out after the half and be able to take a 14-point swing and be able to survive from it, especially where we're at in our growth and our development of this rebuild. We can't afford really games with any turnovers like that, but we can't predict, you can't say that there's not going to be games where we're going to have a turnover because we're going to have to figure out how to win those games. But when you're taking on a team that technically was supposed to have been superiorly better than what we were, and we gave them 14 points coming out the half, the death certificate was written at that time. And I just really want to say that at the end of the day, playoffs or not, even though I believe deep down in the bottom of my soul that we're going to the playoffs, even if our season ended today, you would not be able to take my pride away from this Carolina Panthers team and what they've achieved this year. But even more, the pride, the absolute pride that I have in this defense. Everybody in this fan base kept yelling that they wanted a dog. They wanted a group of dogs. They wanted guys to play with their hair on fire. They wanted guys that would run through walls. Well, dog ain't about that business. They're down with them busting through lines all year. JC Horn, except for a couple of games, has been immaculate for her. Mike Jackson, and I'll say it right now, should be a Pro Bowl reserve at the point that he had this year. And when we look at how the offensive line, next man up. Even with our linebackers having to be next man up. Safeties like Lathan Ransom, who's a rookie, who's had to come out on the job training and come out and perform like he has. And other players who have maybe even played outside of their self or their expectations. It's just the fact that 14 points, 15 points is the reason why we're not in the playoffs today. The family don't care. We're going to get that 14 points and some more back this Saturday. Okay, I'm done for you.
All right, appreciate you, D money. Um, 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 yeah, yeah. I think the defense played relatively good. I really do. I think they played pretty good Sunday. They didn't play perfect, of course, but they were on the field a lot. I think a lot of people ultra criticized the situation because of there was just so many three and outs and so many plays. It just looked kaboobilated. They just didn't look like they were on. Uh, they just didn't look like they were kicking on any cylinder, much less off a cylinder. They just wasn't clicking on any cylinder, and
Zero
that
cohesion on offense, Pickle.
right.
We didn't have
And
shit going
we've
on.
seen that too much this year, and I think that's the issue. We've seen it too many games this year, but nonetheless, we're set to come and play Saturday at 4:30, and the Panthers in Tampa. Cole, who you got? Saturday, Panthers or Tampa?
We're going to the playoffs, Pickle.
That's right.
I'll wait till Thursday to do a score though, but we're going to the playoffs.
All right. Diesel skills, my friend. What do you got?
Oh, of course the Panthers. I mean, how can you have any faith in this Bucs team at this point? I mean, they're like
They're
one of
Absolutely.
the
horrible.
last 7 games or something. They've won
Right.
one game out of the last 7 or something, whatever it is.
Right.
No, there's no faith in this Bucs team. They're imploding from the inside out, and a lot of it's because of Baker Mayfield. We're still dangerous on the outside. Look at the plays that Mike Jackson made. Look at Mike Jackson running that route, catching that ball in the end zone for the wide receiver. Mike Jack is like that. He's a Pro Bowl corner. It's time he
He's
gets
like
his
that.
credit, Pickle.
Pickle, real quickly, it's in their hand at this point, my friend. Because I watched them play against Miami, and you could just tell it's like, oh shit, we're behind. We're not going to come back. We've lost games every kind of way possible, and they're just continuing that trend. They really need to play like shit Saturday. I think they will.
Yeah, you're putting them on a short week where they're even more uncomfortable going into this game. I think that's a big possibility that that's the way this shakes out, Cole.
Yep. Crazy. Did not think we would be up against this. These we had the win total right in the summertime, but to be the last week of the season head to head, it's almost like the damn NFL knew what was going to happen. It's crazy.
Well, they have multiple games like this kind of panning out, with the
Yeah,
Ravens and the Steelers as well. So yeah, the NFL was planning on a little bit of parity within these divisions, and it certainly shaked out that way. And luckily, it was us instead of the Falcons. You know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm glad they do division games at the end of the year like this. At least the last week, most of the time, most people
Yeah,
have division games.
right. I agree. I like it. At first, when they first started doing it this way, I wasn't a fan of it, but I've realized now why they do it. And listen, it was a benefit to the NFL's rating system to have a few games come down to the wire. We're almost certain to be facing uh, one of these uh, one of these folks again, be it the 49ers or the Rams again in the wild card round, but they'll come to our house in Charlotte and see. So
That's gonna be big. If we could just get to that point, I
right,
love our chances on a home playoff game. I really do.
right, right. I don't really. I believe in the win lose win one lose one win one lose one, and that'll be in the rapport of losing because we
Yeah, we'll be
lost
in trouble.
Sunday, we'll probably win Saturday, and then we'll lose the playoff game. That's
Yeah,
how.
if we do get in, that's gonna be a huge
Right.
wave of
That'll
emotion. That's
that'll
gonna be
be a
tough to bounce back from.
yeah
We'll
that,
see.
that that that'll be a win for the organization after all
Sure.
the years of not making the playoffs or not even being remotely good enough to even get in the area of making the playoffs.
Hey, we played three number one seeds in the
We
NFC
have.
this year. We've beat two of them. We're
We're
two out
not
of three.
far off. We
Two
are
out of
not
three ain't
far off.
bad, guys. That
We
is not bad at all.
we can beat anybody because we show we can beat anybody.
D Money brother, your audio's breaking up or something.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Can you
go
hear me now?
back where you were, my friend.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, it's just my thing is like Deez just said, and I agree with him 100%. Because of the teams that we have beaten this year,
Right.
I'm actually more optimistic in a playoff setting, especially the first game would be in Charlotte. I'm more comfortable with that than even going into this game Saturday. And it's just awfully off the grounds of we've shown when we're the ultimate underdog and nobody gives us a chance in the world, it seems that's when we play our best football. So it would seem like to me, in my optimistic mind, that true. We're an underdog to everybody we play when we get in the playoffs. It's working our favor.
Right.
Just like that.
Right. Uh
It's a
right.
very big week.
It is.
We had had a week this big in a decade.
Right. Right. And it's an exciting time. Um,
Enjoy
I
it. Try to
yeah,
enjoy it.
a lot of folks don't chat as much on social media as they used to, and I can't help but think that they some folks just run out of things to complain about.
I was waiting for something bad to happen at this
they
point.
so and it's just a different time right now. A lot of people, but it's grateful to be in the neck of the playoffs. Oh, excuse me.
That's a big yawn.
And well, 3 o'clock in the morning comes early.
I know it.
So,
That's what I was thinking about while you were doing it.
but things is looking up for Carolina. Next year will be another growth year. It'll be another add on different pieces and see if those will work out. And you know, you know, we'll got decisions to make in the off season, but we'll address that later. Um, you know, Rico's still going to be a free agent. Got to figure out what to do at linebacker, uh, running back. Uh, can't forget Jonathan Brooks will be healthy, and they're looking to return. So, uh, the Steelers have to defend their home turf against the Ravens because the Ravens are in control of the division, and if the Steelers lose Sunday, they're completely out of the playoffs for the first time in a zillion years. Speaking of that, do y'all expect? I expect the Raiders to fire their head coach. Do y'all expect a lot of other coaches to be fired? You got to remember next Monday is Black Monday in the NFL.
Hate it.
I don't think that there's gonna be a lot. I think some of the guys already got chopped off the block in the middle of the season. But
Right,
Hmm.
I am gonna be interested in Mike McDaniel. I don't think that Cleveland's gonna keep Stefanski. I don't see why they would keep Stefanski. And then, to be quite honest, the one that's the most interesting to me, Mike Tomlin. Like if Pittsburgh don't make the playoffs, and from what I understand, there's a lot of people in the fan base that had wanted Tomlin gone for a couple of years.
right,
So it will be interesting. But I don't know if Miami's gonna get rid of McDaniels, and then the Tomlin. That's just a thing in the air.
but
The Stefanski though.
right now, Mike McDaniel's his team's played a little bit better for him, and like I once thought Raheem Morris was out, but if Raheem Morris so far has brought his team back with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, and they look pretty respectable right now. So that makes me wonder if maybe he'll get another opportunity, and because Kirk um, Kirk Cousins has another year left on his contract with Atlanta. So
I think if he wins out, if he wins the next two games,
right,
I think you can 100% guarantee he'll be back.
right now Savansky. I tell you a guy that I'd be interested in Cleveland, but it's not their head coach. I'd be interested in their defensive coordinator. That's the truth of that. Coming here and replacing Evero, but uh,
Not easy E.
That's
I
such
well, I
a
mean,
could
mess.
have taken Miles Garrett.
does Easy E get another contract in Carolina?
I don't know. Such a question. That's a heck of a question. We could go back and forth for hours about the good things that this defense has done this year and the step they've taken, and then the
Right,
bad things the defense has done this year. Namely, yesterday, whenever they gave the ball to Cabernet, we just decided to make arm tackles. We didn't want
right,
to tackle anymore for whatever reason.
right.
I don't know why that guy was so intimidating, and we didn't want to bring him down to the ground, but apparently that's what was going on with our defense yesterday. So it's been so up and down, Pickle. I'm not sure right now. And I think a lot of it hinges on this game coming up Saturday, to be quite honest.
That's what I was going to say. Ask me at nine
Right.
o'clock on Saturday night.
We
I'll
make
give you
the
an answer.
we make the playoffs. I kind of do think he's back, even if it's not but
Yeah,
1 year.
if
It
he
might be a 1 year
but
deal,
if
but
we
he'll be
make
back.
it, if we make the playoffs, like I don't understand why you wouldn't. As much
Right.
shit as I've talked about it, if you
One
get to the playoffs to what we got,
right,
like you got to
w- w-
consider it.
one thing about it, T Mac. This isn't about defense, our defense, but T Mac said they faced a lot more man coverage than they thought they would, and the coach and T Mac said we didn't adjust to it right off. It took us a while to figure it out and adjust to it, and that's telling. That's telling on the offense. That the
They got
defense was
strapped
able to
up.
switch to do man coverage and got manned up, so to speak.
That's what it was.
You know,
As young as this core is, that's not surprising. I think that's
No
right,
doubt about it. I think he's going to take reps from Xavier for sure. Look for him to be a playmaker on third downs. We really need that right now.
right,
I would love to see David Moore come back and be a contributor. I think he can. He's going to have fresh legs.
I would love to see
He can't
Rizzo
be. He
on
can't be
the
no worse. He's not going to be worse than what we got out there right now outside of Nala, in my personal opinion. But that's just me.
uh,
I
absolutely,
think I think T Mac's fine in man coverage, Brad. I mean, if he gets the right opportunity, I mean, we saw it against the Rams. You know, he can break those and take them to the house, and Coker can too.
Mm.
Either one of those guys are okay in man coverage, but
Right.
if we're not calling good plays to really go against man coverage and take our shots, then that might be the difference when we're trying to pick apart a zone defense that's not there. And I think that's more of what we saw yesterday rather than T Mac's lack of ability to escape man coverage. I think he can do that just fine, especially as tall as he is at 6'5". I think he can overcome most corners in the NFL if he needs to in a jump ball.
Right. And remember, Brad Isaac and Dave Canales used to be wide receivers coaches, so it ain't like they don't know how to teach that. They just have to. They just have to be. They have to have the time and ability to do that. So.
And it was, Bryce Young brought it up in his presser, Pickle, and I posted it last night. And Bryce even said that they were quick to make adjustments where we struggled to adjust as quickly as they did. And it's such a conundrum because we've seen games this season where the Panthers did make adjustments in the second half, whether it was on offense or defense, and we got the result that we wanted. But we didn't get that yesterday. We got the opposite. The Seahawks adjusted faster after the half. The Panthers weren't quite ready for what they were doing with those adjustments, and we had to figure it out. And it feels like that's what we were doing the entire third quarter, was trying to figure it out. And then in the fourth quarter, we kind of knew what we wanted to do, and we started to do it, but it was too little, too late. I was kind of
Right.
curious. How did you feel about us taking the knee there at the end of the game on that last possession with all those
Um.
fans at home? Should we have been slinging it?
And all of a sudden got waylaid by a safety, knocked out. Likely going to miss this week because he's in concussion protocol. What would have been the opinion of Dave Canales and his trying for it in gravy time when we never lost?
Yeah, that would have been worst case scenario, Pickle.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
the
So
perfect way to
so
put it.
yeah, so you know the rate it was going, you know, it wasn't like if you were able to score a touchdown instead of taking the knee, it was going to make the game. You was going to win the game. Wasn't like you were going to make the game winnable. It's we've already lost, acceptably lost, and the coaches just did what he did to save injuries to the team. I don't understand that because it wasn't like if we had to win that game, if we didn't win it, our playoffs out. So we knew we had to come down here and play this in anyway. And you got to remember, the coaches or the players did not know how close that Miami and Bucs
No,
game was
it
because
wasn't
they
on the
turned the
scoreboard.
kicker off. If it had
Hmm.
been on the scoreboard, they could have kept up with it and understood that. But that was a coaching decision. So
Pickle, did you hear Canales talking about taking the knee this morning? Well, he might have done it yesterday, but they were talking about it this morning and played his little snippet.
right,
He was just talking about he knew what it was. There was no point of forcing the issue and moving the ball downfield and somebody getting hurt on the last drive when the game's already over, which I
right.
understand,
I agree
I
with that.
guess.
What do you think about it, D?
Uh, Me being kind of old school or whatever,
Right,
I didn't care for it on that aspect of how I know football.
right.
But
Submitting.
but as far as like understanding what he was trying to do, I do understand. I just think coming up in the football that I came up in,
You didn't
it,
do that.
it felt weak at the
No,
motion. It felt good. It really did. I didn't care for it. After having some time to sit and think about it, knowing that we got to come back for a must win this week, I was able to overlook it. But I don't think there'll ever really be a time that I really could ever say that I like it. But I will say that I understood it.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Because if anything, you could have put in Dalton, you could have put in ETN and handed the ball to ETN. Or so, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
you could just took the guys out and just let it been garbage time. And I guess
right.
he said he wanted to make sure Phelps was healthy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just don't think I've ever really seen a coach in my lifetime really do that. So it was different for me, I guess.
D Money, it felt dirty. Didn't like
It
it.
it didn't feel clean. I'll say that much.
It didn't. It was dirty.
It's funny. 'Cause I went to the grocery store today with my Panthers shirt on, and that was what the cashier asked me about. He was like, "How did you feel about them taking the knees in the game? They're losing. They're not supposed to take knees." And I was like, "Yeah, I know where you're coming from." I said, Dave was trying to just keep them healthy, and I get that, especially when your wide receiver one's out there playing with the flu or whatever he had. He was sick or under the weather or whatever it might have been, and it was, I don't know. To me, it was obvious. I mean, he wasn't himself. A couple of those balls he might have caught if he had felt a little better, was in the best condition to play that game. And one of them was a home run too. Bryce laid it out perfectly. It was the same pass, almost exactly as the Rams, where he pushes T Mac past the defender downfield. T Mac got one hand on it, and man, he was so close. He almost hauled that in, and he saw it just a little bit late. And I just think next year is just going to be a different year for T Mac. I think he's going to be a lot better than he has been this year with a little more time with Bryce. That's part of it, and just learning the speed of the NFL. Those two things. Maybe he just needs. I mean, here's a guy that's almost having the best wide receiver season ever for a Carolina Panther as a rookie, and he only needs 70 yards next week. Pickle. I mean, how excited are you for T Mac to break this record held by Kelvin Benjamin, or does it even matter that much to you? I'd like to see it personally.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I like to see it, and I don't see any reason why he doesn't get it. He did have the flu Sunday, so I really don't see any reason why he can't get 75 yards Sunday. But we definitely have to work on having a productive offense.
I don't think they feel the same way about that Bucs defense as they do that Seattle defense, and that might have
No.
been part. That might have been part of Dave coming from Seattle, man. Dave's looking to where he spent so many years. He's got big eyes. He's a little. He's like, oh, I don't know. I know a lot of those guys. I don't. They know a lot about me. I don't know if I can game plan for that. Maybe he had a little self doubt going into this, and maybe he decided to play it a little too close to the vest. That's what it looked like to me. I get it. There's plenty of room to be critical of it. It's all good. Like Pickle said, we're learning on the go here. So
Right.
we'll figure it out as we're going. Like Cole said, we're here early. We're here early and it shows. And we're seeing stuff like this. And I think we're doing a good job as a podcast of calling it out.
Yeah, this game
That's why
didn't
we
phase
that's why
me.
we need to enjoy the ride. That's
Yeah,
exactly right, Deez. Go ahead, D.
this game didn't phase me not like one bit.
None.
Like,
And
was I
I'm the worst,
slightly
and it bothered
aggravated?
me.
I was slightly aggravated when we first came out at the half with the back-to-back turnovers. That kind of just aggravated me because it had already sealed in my mind that we was gonna have to get the job done this week. But as far as just losing the game and so forth, I wasn't really perturbed or anything of that nature about it. And it might have been because I knew we had another chance. Like, is it aggravating that we didn't take care of business when we could have? No, because I still don't know if we win that game. To be quite honest, like everybody keeps saying that, like if this happened and this happened, we would have won the game. I prefer to say we would have been in the game. So
Hmm.
okay, you can't convince me that even if we didn't have those two turnovers, right, that we don't lose the game. So because of that, because just of that alone, I couldn't be mad about it. I know a lot of people are harping on the 54 or whatever. I don't care about none of that at this point. Like literally, I really don't. That's a top three defense in this league, a top three offense in this league. They got six guys going to the Pro Bowl with a defensive minded coach. If anything, I felt if there was a lesson that we could learn out of it, great. But outside of that, I'm just ready to knock back on that shoulder.
Yes, sir. I'd enjoy that.
Pickle, I want to say this really quick
Uh,
because I won't be able to do this often. I don't feel like. I would advise every fan to kind of treat shit how I'm seeing it right now for long term because I do feel like we're not that far behind these teams. We're already beating these playoff teams. And a year ago, we weren't even a competent NFL team. I don't know if we could have beat some college teams at times. So I
right.
just feel like we are on the right path, and we're playing with house money. Whatever happens Saturday, it just happens. But long term, division wise, and the NFC, I feel like we got it. We stifled some of the best offenses and some of the best running backs in the NFC. And it's just it happened damn near overnight. It feels like as much shit as we've been through, we really have turned the corner, and I can't see us in a full rebuild now. We need to rebuild hard on our skill position players. I will say that. People might
Right.
not want to hear that, but I would love maybe two more receivers. Outside of Nilo, I'm not comfortable with anybody. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
real honest. Maybe Jimmy.
yeah, I asked that question yesterday. Um, you gonna guarantee that that somebody comes back and returns to a starting job,
Hmm.
other than Nalo, who is guaranteed to come back here and get a starting job day one?
Excel.
I'm
Yeah,
Well,
they do believe in XL. I mean, that's
I mean,
true. Dave
yeah,
backs him
I'm
up,
not
but
giving it to him.
yeah, yeah. I guess what I meant was who deserves to come back here to be a starting day one. You know,
I love the
not
chemistry
necessarily
that
who.
Coker and Bryce have.
Yeah, I
Right,
was about to
they're
say.
Pickle.
getting there. They're
Coker,
getting there a
yeah.
lot.
See, but
I
Coker
still
shouldn't
think
be our number two answer to these
right.
questions. I'm sorry.
I still think Coker's issue why he isn't actually playing a lot more. I still think this time he was out uh, recovering from his injury. I still think there's an issue that they haven't. You'll never get that time back. So,
Yeah, that was the
but
same play they called Sunday. They called
right,
yesterday. It was the same play, the go route for Coker. Bryce threw it out there. It was a good ball. They got the PI call on 21, who's a Pro Bowler. So I mean, that was a really good play by the Panthers. They knew when to call it. It was a good time. We got the big PI penalty, and I think if you look back at this year and you look at the stats from XL and Coker, I think most fans would be disappointed because when we traded Adam Thielen, I thought, okay, well now it's XL and Coker's time. They're going to have great seasons, and I don't think great seasons is what is really describing XL and Coker's year this year. It's a little muted from what we really wanted or really expected. Bryson Tremaine did have a big catch yesterday on a third down, made a big play for us. But I mean, he's been kind of quiet. I mean, it's not a guy that I think that Panthers fans are hanging their hat on. And then Jimmy Horn is just another guy that we brought up earlier that fans are just wanting to see more of. So I think
right,
it's so ironic that now we're having that conversation when early in the year, Pickle, it was last thing you wanted to see was a wide receiver drafted by the Carolina Panthers, and now you're open to seeing two. And I know where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. It's because we didn't see the growth, the development, the cohesion that we wanted to out of this wide receiver room this year.
right,
To be honest with you, I would prefer to try to find like a veteran to come in, that is still productive. But I'm not trying to spend draft capital another year on a receiver. I think we really need to start looking at these linebackers and O line depth or whatever. That maybe we can find a productive guy that could fit into the room at a receiver. Fine, but unless we're going to take another receiver later on in the draft, I don't even want to entertain that. I really think that what we're lacking right now, and these guys have done the best they could this year, but I think we really, and they were talking about it yesterday, we might need to double dip on linebacker and bring a.
People, but here lately, somebody's got to get open. One out of the four, y'all, and I'm not seeing it enough on every down. Not even close.
That started an argument last night on another podcast or whatever, right? Because they
Mm-hmm.
brought up the topic of, is it that our receivers can't get open? Are they not that good? What it is, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
seems like the argument came because on one side it's more of, you can evaluate not one receiver because who we have at quarterback. I disagree with that. Well, you can still see if they have the intangibles, if they catch it when they do come to them. Could they be better? Possibly. But the other side of it is just saying that it's more of a coaching and scheming type of situation. And to me personally, what I really feel like is, okay, Ted is a highly skilled wide receiver, and you can't hide talent. So he's made plays, but what once he started making those plays, it contributed to double teams and bracketed him and things of that nature, which made it harder for him. Now you're talking about Excel, focus issues, different things of that nature. We got Coker, who they're saying hasn't dropped the ball in 2 years. That sounds good. But I don't know if you guys saw yesterday. What I saw was it seemed like, and it might have been because of the secondary, but it seemed like Bryce was going through his progression slow. Because even when it came to the check down, those
Terrible.
running backs,
You're
they
right.
had a time to put their hands on the ball more than anything else. Like, and
They
that's
already
usually
had the hands on the running
ball
backs every
play.
time they caught the ball in the flats. That's a good point, D Money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think that the defense just played so well. Like, and I think that's what people are losing sight in. You're not playing a Seattle type defense every week. And
Mm-mm.
that's not no excuse for this offense. But that Seattle they have a defensive minded head coach. Like, yes, could we have played better? Yes. But that defense is designed in that man's image. You see what I'm saying? It was in our way. But when it's our time, guess who we're gonna beat? It's gonna be Seattle. All
I
right,
feel like we're
like
going to start beating them. We're going to start beating them in important games going forward the next
we did
couple
it
of years.
before.
I feel like, D. I really do. We're going to
Yeah, we
see them
did
in the
it before. We'll do
playoffs,
it again.
and we're going to beat them. I really feel like that.
Yeah,
We are
and
not
that's
that
my
far
thing.
behind them, and we're still really rebuilding hard, in my opinion.
But I want y'all to understand that I do understand that this offense sucked yesterday. The offense
Sucked.
did suck yesterday, but it won't like we were playing the Jets either with a sucky offense.
No, and we're
It was
first place in the
everything was
division
bad.
going into this last game, and that's the main thing. I mean, we haven't been here. We were first place playing for the division since 2015. We had a shot against the Bucs to win it in 2022, but it's been a long time before that. We made the playoffs in 2017. This is
Okay.
historic for Panthers fans. So I'm excited about the opportunity, Pickle.
Absolutely, I am too. I'm excited. I'm encouraged. Seattle. People need to remember Seattle was a good team. We could have beat them, or we
Should
could
have.
have had a better opportunity to beat them. A lot, and we can say that for almost a lot of these teams on our list today. That should encourage folks to understand that we're getting better. We're changing. We're changing how it's done. We're getting better. Are we going to be there tomorrow? No. Are we going to be there? Are we going to go undefeated next week or next year and win the Super Bowl? I hope. I don't look for it, but I hope. But we're getting there. We're getting better,
But you got hopes now,
and
Pickle.
there's hope.
We
There's
hadn't
hope.
even had hope for a while.
Right, right. So y'all, let's just keep pounding, and we'll see y'all Thursday for Cold Show, and then we'll probably pop in and do something on Saturday, either before or after the show one
We got a
of the
Brotherhood
game.
Wow.
Edition show coming this week for sure.
That's a fact. Absolutely.
A
Yes,
video bare
sir.
minimum coming from D Money this week, and the Cold Show. That's our launch. That's our premiere for the Cold Show coming up Thursday. Couldn't be a better time. I'm excited for it, guys. Let's keep pounding on the Blue and Black attack.
We
Keep
might do
pounding.
end of the year awards, Pickle. We'll never know. We'll do it very soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Keep pounding. I appreciate y'all.
appreciate the 4 folks we have on YouTube watching. Hit like and subscribe it, and the 25 people on X.
Appreciate y'all.
Just give me a favorite, or hey, just
Retweet
just
something. Let us know
retweet
you
it. That'd
watching.
be all right. Appreciate you. Keep pounding.